Okay, I'm letting people in, okay?
Sure.
Welcome.
Good
Good
morning.
morning. Good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are. We are here today to talk more about the mind. So Fondi and I are excited to be doing our second session today, and we want to welcome you all for joining. We're recording this, we're streaming it into Facebook. Fondi, have you clicked the streaming into Facebook? You're on mute, eh? Yeah. So Fondi's just doing the recording into Facebook. There we go. All right, it's live streaming in Facebook. Welcome to everybody who's watching from Facebook. Everybody who's joined us here on Zoom, and we'll also post the recording on some of the other social media places as well. So welcome, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. And today we're going to talk about this wonderful experience that, well, it's an interesting experience that Fondi had last week when she was doing the morning routine. So Fondi, I'm going to pass it over to you so you can tell us a little bit more about what you did last week every day, and tell us more about your experience around it. And then I will share what I do in the morning. So this is all about your morning routine, which is a very, very important element to having a successful day. Okay, so Fondi, I'll let you.
Thank you, Mobina. Good morning, everybody. So happy to have you here. As Mobina mentioned, we're going to be talking about morning routines. So my usual routine is actually I wake up around 7 o'clock. And I have been hearing from, many people and seen many books about waking up early and how waking up early makes you more productive. So I said, okay, let me try. Normally, I don't like to wake up early, like not earlier than 7. To me, that's a good time. But I know there are a lot of people who advocate waking up as early as 3 a.m. To get in workouts and meditate and just basically having that quiet time to themselves. So if you're a busy parent, a lot of parents like to have that time that's quiet and they have no one to cater to. So I thought, okay, let me just try waking up 1 hour earlier. And so I tried that last week and I went live on my Instagram so that my followers can come along with me on my journey. Because it's a whole routine, right? I followed the Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. So this Miracle Morning entails something called SAVERS. So it's an acronym for silence. So the silence is quiet time, just a meditation, just a time to go inward and not have any interruptive people or thoughts, just being quiet with yourself. So what I do is I do a meditation. And for those of you who are not familiar with meditation, and you could just go quiet and focus on something like a mantra or anything like this, or do a body scan. I have like a video I can share if you guys want. You guys could put in the chat your email and I'll send it to you, or say me, I want hands up and we'll send it to you. So the body scan is just really scanning your body from either head to toe or toes up to your head and just paying attention to your body without judgment. So it's just observing your body sensation. So it's very, very easy for anyone who's starting. And that's what I did, because there's not guided meditation. There's no music. It's quiet. So I did that. And then A is for affirmations. So whatever it is you're trying to improve or change, you can, the night before, create a list of affirmations for yourself. I do that actually out loud, and I do it with my body moving. So I do a leveled up version of affirmations, which is incantations. So that involves your whole body. So, you're moving and you're speaking, you're hearing, and you're feeling. So it's a whole body involvement. Affirmations you can say, like, when you're driving, or it's just you're just speaking it, which is good, but incantations is actually the super version of it. So I was doing that. And then savers is the visualization. So I go in and it's almost like meditation, and I think of what I want to achieve. So in my mind's eye, I am playing a scene of something that I want. So it could be, a retreat that I'm planning, or a live event that I'm planning, and I'm seeing how, many people I want in there. So this is an example of how I conduct my visualization. Then I do exercise. I have a rebounder. So a rebounder is like a mini trampoline, for any of those who don't know. And I jump on that. I bounce on that, and that's supposed to clear your lymph. So I do that for 10 minutes. I read. It's always something it's not a novel, it's not like a fiction. It's always something that's going to help me expand and grow. So I'm currently reading a book called God Works Through Faith, and it's an amazing book. So I read that, and then I do writing. So you journal. So you journal not anything, but journal about what the reading has done for you. What did you learn, and how does the reading affect you? How you can implement it into your life. So it's a whole process, 6 steps, and I was doing it 10 minutes for every section, but I found it wasn't enough. Like 10 minutes of exercise, you're just starting to warm up, not enough. Meditations for me, 10 minutes is not enough. I usually like to meditate at least half an hour. So anyway, I was doing this whole routine, and I found that I did love elements of it, except not all doing it all the same, in like one string. And so what I did after 1 week, I decided to stop, and I'll tell you why. Midweek, I received an email from ancestry.ca. So those of you who have heard of ancestry.ca, it's a company that does genetic testing and links you to your heritage. And they recently started to do this biological report. So they're linking genes that are expressive, your phenotypes. And they gave me 3 freebies, and I had to pay for the rest of the report. But 2 of the 3 that I remember pertain to like waking and sleeping. So I actually have a natural tendency, apparently, to be a night owl. So I was actually putting my body through something that it naturally doesn't even want. And by Wednesday, I was exhausted, and I could feel that my body was adjusting at nighttime to keep me awake. And like it would pour out more cortisol. I could feel I could feel that rush, and I couldn't fall asleep. So when the hour came around 11, I could still feel my body struggling to keep me awake, even though I wanted to go to sleep intellectually because I knew I had to wake up early. And it made sense. So I just got more tired as the week went on, and I was completely spent by the end of the week. And I decided, knowing the information now about my genes, I had to honor my genetic makeup. I was fighting against something. So this whole lesson is you have to respect yourself. I was doing this as an experiment, yes, at first. And I was feeling the exhaustion, and I noticed the changes in my body to adjust to not, going to bed. Even though I was very tired, my body kept boosting me up to try to keep me awake at night, even though I knew intellectually I should be going to bed, but my body wasn't responding that way. For some reason, genetically, I'm supposed to be awake at night. Like, I don't know, evolutionary wise, I must have been the night shift person, like watching out for bears or something. I have no idea. But my body was like, no, you have to stay awake. It's like your job. You have to stay awake. And I'm telling it, when you need to go to bed, I have to wake up at 6 o'clock. So it wasn't working. And even though I wanted to embark on this like great miracle morning, trying to be more productive, it did the opposite for me. My brain didn't function. I was doing weird things. Like I normally make myself this drink in the morning, where I heat up my soy milk and whatnot, and I would have like medicinal mushrooms I put in, and I put everything in the pot, and it's on the stove, but I didn't turn the stove on. And I was like, why am I not it's because my brain was just like not, it was shutting down because I was so tired. So at the end of the day, I had to honor my limitations in terms of not necessarily my limitations, but honor myself in how I'm made. So whether or not someone told me something is good for me, right? I am not made to adopt those things, like that habit. So it was tough because, I'm leading this and I wanted to do this thing that is supposedly really good for people and create great results and a lot of productivity, but it was not for me. And I decided Friday, yeah, that was my last day, and that was it. And I had to remove all the posts and everything, and like advertise I was going to do this for 1 month because 21 days is the number of days or repetitions that you need in order to create at minimum a new habit, so that was out the window. So
So
I had to respect myself, and I'm not made like everybody else, right? I'm not made like the people who wake up early. Like my sister, she goes to bed at 8 o'clock and she wakes up at like 5 o'clock. And she's energized and she's ready to go. I am not that. And so I'm good with it. I am perfectly happy waking up at 7 again. And so this is the thing about honoring who you are and not forcing yourself to doing what works for somebody else and what someone else is telling you is great for them. You can try it like I did, but if you notice there are things that things are not working for you, let it go. And you're not a failure, and there's nothing wrong with not doing things the way someone else does it. We all have our own formula for health, wealth, joy and happiness and success. We all have our own. We can try things and we have to tweak things that work for us. So, in the savers, I incorporate all the different elements into my day, and I don't just cram them in an hour, right? So exercise, I need more than 10 minutes of exercise. So I do that separately midday. I do my reading and my journaling at nighttime, and I do the other 3 things in the morning. So, yeah, so the topic today is honoring yourself, is honoring where you are. I called the limitation, that was absolutely the wrong word. I'm not limited because I naturally don't like to wake up in the morning biologically. There's no limit. That's not a limitation at all. That's my makeup. And my job is to honor me and my makeup. And I'm much happier now. And that's all I could say for the morning miracle morning. It's out the window. For me, it's a miracle day. That's what I'm doing. Miracle day.
Well, and I think what's happening is as you try different things, you're learning more about yourself, right? And that's the key, right? We're unique individuals, and we bring a unique perspective, unique potential to the world, right? And it's all about really understanding yourself, having that level of awareness, raising your awareness about who you are, where you want to go, closing the gap. And you want to do that every single day, right? And if you can learn even 1% more about yourself each day, you're going to make so much progress within 6 months, within a year, right? And so talking about morning routine, my morning routine is quite different, right? There are elements of what you experimented that I do. So I wake up and I do a guided meditation while I'm in bed. And this guided meditation just, sets my mindset in a very positive, uplifting way. And then I get ready. But then what I do is I actually take 5 minutes of just quiet time. And sometimes in that time, I'll focus on my breath. Sometimes in that time, I'll focus on a mantra, like you mentioned, right? And what that does for me is it just brings some order into my mind, and it allows, any thoughts that are causing chaos to just kind of dissipate. Right. And then I will get on my arm bike. Right. So those that are not aware, I I utilize a wheelchair. I'm not able to walk. And so my upper body strength is extremely, important to me. And so I, get on the arm bike just to get some energy out, get some exercise going, blood flow going. And then I have a trampoline as well, a rebounder as Fondi does. And I go on it and I sit on it and I jump on it too. What it does for me is not only does it get the lymph going and the, exercise, but it also gives me, it gets my mind going. It gets the blood going. It gets the oxygen moving, right? You want to oxygenate your whole body. And so that's what it does for me. So I just do those 3 things in my morning routine. And while I'm in the bathroom getting ready, I talk to myself in the mirror. Mirror work is very, very powerful. And that's something I do all the time. Okay. And I, do it. I have a mirror right here in my office. And, every time I see a mirror, whether it's in my office and in the bathroom, in the car, I will always say something nice to myself just to, have that inner dialogue that is, positive, that's, uplifting me, because I've learned that I'm my greatest cheerleader. Okay. And I have really worked over the last few months, over the last few years on transforming myself, on changing that inner dialogue, because we're always having an inner dialogue with ourselves. Okay. And if you haven't read Michael Singer's book, The Untethered Soul, there is a chapter in that about inner roommate. I think it's chapter 2 or 3. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's a very powerful chapter and you should go back and listen to it. I even have a playlist on my YouTube channel, right, around that book, because we did it a couple of years ago. We've read that book multiple times, but you really want to start paying attention to what you're saying to yourself, because that's very, very important on how you function, on who you are, on how your day goes. Okay, so that's my morning routine. Now, it's interesting because as Fondi had her experiment last week, I've experimented different things in my morning routine. I tend to listen to a lot of stuff through my AirPods, with my phone, and I'll constantly be listening to positive stuff, right? So, Fondi reads non-fictional stuff that's going to help her. I have a lot of audiobooks. I have a lot of recordings that I listen to. But the key part about gathering knowledge is implementing, right? Learning happens when we implement, okay? When we embody the stuff we're learning, okay? You don't want to just be gathering knowledge. I've done that for many years, but it's all about implementing.
Well,
So
that's
yeah,
what the journaling. Sorry, Mabina, there's a couple of points I love that you made. And the feeling in the morning. This one of the things that I teach is, how you start your day. It's not just this miracle morning thing, but everyone should be practicing this, and it's the easiest thing you could do. And that is when you first wake up, be aware of what you think. Okay. Is you're thinking, oh no, another one of these days.
the dread feeling, right?
Yeah, like yeah, the idea that you're not looking forward to your day and you're already starting off on like I gotta do this today, or I have to see these people, or whatever it is. You set the tone for the rest of your day because you're coming in with that heaviness.
Yeah. The
As opposed-
disharmony, the disconnect, the misalignment. Yeah.
Yeah, so when Mabina says misalignment, it means that your default is happiness, joy, health, and wealth. So anytime you have these negative feelings, it means that you're not in your default state.
Yeah.
So when you wake up, be aware if you have the self-talk, like, oh crap, this is, this day, or this is what I have to do. And you get out of bed with that energy in your body. Okay. As opposed to like, oh my God, I'm so happy. And we're not asking you to wake up as if you just won the lotto or whatever it is that you want in your life, but just the general evenness of your mood, but not in the negative space, is going to help you. If you can just get into the neutral space, okay, first, and then you can start practicing just thank you in the morning. Thank you that I got to wake up this morning, because not everyone gets to wake up in the morning. Okay, some people go to bed and they never wake up. This is the truth. my dad, that's how my dad passed away. He went to bed and he didn't wake up the next morning. So the first thing you could do is just be grateful for a new day. If it's one of the easiest things is to be grateful for the new day. Like, thank you that I get to breathe and I get to wake up and I see another day, even if it's rain, you get to wake up and you get to live another life as you. So it's one of the easiest things. If you can't find anything else, is that you get to live. And then you can start seeing other grateful things, the things that you'd be grateful for in a day.
Yeah, gratitude is so powerful. It
Yeah.
is such an amazing and powerful way to change that mindset, that heaviness. You can switch it like this, right? And Wallace D. Waddell says in The Science of Getting Rich, right? The entire process of mental adjustment and atonement can be summed up in one word: gratitude, right? But you want to feel it. That's where the power is, right? Is the feeling.
Well, you could be in awe that you can even see when you open your eyes.
Yeah.
I mean, like, just look around in your room and go, okay, like, so many people just walk around in our days, the alarm goes off and you're rushing and you're like, oh, yeah, but just maybe take a moment and just go, wow, be in awe of life. And that will change your state. Just be in awe for a moment, just step back and go, wow, like I could see, I could smell, or whatever it is. There's always a blessing somewhere. So if you want to, in your morning, create something new that's outside of your your regular routine that contributes positively to the rest of your day. Something simple like this, being grateful for something, your breakfast or your yummy coffee.
Or your running water.
Yeah.
Water, right?
I lost power like earlier this year a few times due to storms and stuff, and no hot water, had no hot water, and I had no heating, and that lasted for a week. And this is in Canada, folks. So this is anyway, there are things that definitely we move through and use and enjoy on a daily basis that we don't stop to think. We don't think about, not just think about. So very simple things like the vision, being able to breathe, running water, like Mabina said, drinking water. I thank my water. I thank my water. I don't know if you guys don't say my water, but I'm really grateful that I have water to drink every day. And if you can incorporate that one thing in your morning routine, and there's no genetic predisposition to not being grateful for something, like there's
it's a habit, it's a practice, right? That we can consciously make a decision that we're going to practice gratitude, right? And when we do that, we keep doing it every day. And like you said, 21 days later, it's going to become a habit, right? I've worked on, making gratitude a habit for myself. It's a very powerful habit that's really shifted a lot for me, and it gives me the opportunity to look for the good in everything.
Yeah, I'll give you an example of, more profound example. So, around 2013, I was going through a divorce, and, a lot of things are going on in a divorce, and it caused me to get anxiety. And, I didn't know all about these habits and thought processes and stuff like this then. And so, when the thought comes in, it grows, it snowballs, and it's on a hamster wheel, it's on rotation, and it builds up stress. And it creates, when your stress level goes to a certain level, you get anxiety. And then when it goes higher and beyond, you get panic. So I was having these problems, and my brother said, listen to The Power. So it's an audiobook by Rhonda Byrne, the Lady of the Secret. And I was listening to this like nonstop, day in, day out, with earbuds. Even when I was sleeping, it was playing while I was sleeping. And she just said, practice love, practice love, practice love. And I know it sounds cliche, but really, I was not in a place of love. Like Mabina said, when you're misaligned, misalignment is just not in your natural default of love and joy and all that. So when you're misaligned for a long time and it's intense, you create a lot of issues in your mental state and your physical state. And so I practiced this. I was listening to this constantly. And I started doing, what I was telling you, looking for things that are beautiful in my life and that I'm grateful for. And I practiced this like intensely. Like I was so conscious of the way I was thinking when I was listening to her audiobook. Like practically every thought was monitored. And so that I could not let myself go back into that negative state. Going back into the negative state would just keep me in anxiety, right? You can't stay in the same place that made you sick. You have to practice a complete like 360, 180 flip side over there to heal yourself.
Yeah. And you have to
So,
saturate yourself with that information, right? And for those that have been, following me, and have done some book clubs with me, we did that book, The Power. And it was a
okay.
very, very powerful book.
Yeah.
And if you were part of that book club, go back and watch those videos, right? Go back and get the book out, read it again, right? Because it really is a powerful book. And as Fondi did back in 2013, I've done that too, right? I have I have the book, I have the Audible, and that's a book that sometimes I just go to, because there are moments that I'm not feeling so positive, and life happens, and my vibration is low, and I'll go to that book and it'll raise me. It'll remind me that my true essence is love, right? And so let's get back to it. Let's get back to looking at everything from the lens of love, okay? And not on the negative, because at the end of the day, there's positive and negative in every situation. It's up to us to determine what we're going to look at. It's a choice we all have, right? And so that's a really powerful book. And Rhonda Byrne, she's really had a powerful impact to the world.
Yeah. So, for the morning routine that we're talking about, I would highly recommend, if you're not start doing this in the morning, is just waking up and saying thank you.
Yeah.
It's a very simple phrase, and you can't be in gratitude and in fear or resentment or dread at the same time.
Yeah.
Simply for me, just saying thank you right now, it grounds me. Just saying the phrase thank you. Because it just redirects my mind into the space of, I don't have to worry about whatever. I don't have to. It's a choice, right? I don't have to feel certain ways about certain things. And it's better for me. It's better for my health. It's better for my mental and physical well-being to be in a grateful state.
Yeah.
So incorporate something that simple, just one little thing. It's not a savers routine, like to start with silence and do the affirmations, the visualization and exercise and reading. Just do one thing. If you can incorporate one thing into your morning, that's gratitude is like one of the best things.
And you know what? When you try different things, right? So Fondi told you what she tried. I gave you my morning routine. Just take some time over the next few days and try different things, right? And you'll find, listen to that inner voice within you, listen to that intuition, your gut. Whatever works for you is the routine you want to start to cultivate and strengthen on a daily basis, right? And you'll find, if you, as Fondi suggested, incorporate gratitude. If you do that every day, then maybe in a week or two, you might want to bring in another act, right? Another action that you can take and start building on it. Okay. And you'll find that as you build, you're going to have your own morning routine, which is going to, strengthen you, which is going to help you set yourself up for a successful day. Okay. But only you can do it, right? We can't do it for you. We can do it for ourselves, but only you can do it. And it's only you that will be able to determine if a certain action is working for you or not. But you got to give it some time. Okay. You got to give it some time, and you got to be consistent, right? Don't expect to do gratitude one day and then not for 3 or 4 days and then do it again. Like, you got to have some consistency around it to be able to really determine if that's working for you.
Yeah, it'll feel good. Honestly, it will feel good. So now we're coming to like half an hour into the to 10 o'clock. I'm just wondering if anyone has Any questions about what we've suggested, or any input on something that you do in the morning that you like? You can put it in the chat if you want.
Yeah, you could put it in the chat. You could private message either one of us. You could unmute yourself and speak. We're totally open with all of those options. Anybody is open.
So if anyone's curious about the books we mentioned, I'm reading God Works Through Faith. And I don't remember the author. Do you remember the author of God
Yeah,
Works?
it's Russell.
Oh yes, Dr. Robert Russell.
Yeah, here's the book. I have it. Here's the book.
Yeah.
It's a very good book. Okay. I really, really like this book.
So this is the other book. He did a few books that
Oh, here, I took up God Works Through You. Here's God Works Through Faith. Sorry, my mistake. He's got two. He's actually got three books.
Yeah, the prosperous one.
Yeah, so we
You too
did,
can be prosperous.
no, we didn't do You Too Can Be Prosperous. I thought we did it as a book club. We did the Your Invisible Power. But yeah, so this is a very good book. If you haven't read it, you should pick it up and get it. And then the other book is The Power that Fondi talked about, which is this one. If you haven't already read this, it's a very good book. Okay, and this is by Rhonda Byrne. Rhonda Byrne is the one who did The Secret, the book, the movie and the book. And she's done a multiple books after The Secret, and The Power is one of them. But The Power is all about love, which is really our true essence and your soul. You're really connecting with your true, authentic self, and it's a very amazing book.
Yeah, the book healed me actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going through that hard time. I said I had anxiety, and it was pretty intense actually. It affected my whole body. I wasn't eating, and so my whole digestive system was shutting down, and I was very tired. I wasn't functional actually. I'm not going to make it pretty. It was very, very bad time for me, and I don't remember how long it took, but I was doing it very intense, listening very intensely. And she lays out some exercises to do, like the people in your life, write down only the beautiful things that you love about them. Nothing no complainy comments, only the things you love about them. And that includes yourself, by the way. So that was very, very helpful. And I still listen to her today when I need to be reminded, right? We're all works in progress, and
I do too.
so I still listen to her. And she always says, think about the things you love. What do you love? Right? Literally, that's verbatim. What do you love? No, I'm asking you, what do you love? Do you
Ask
love
yourself that
flowers?
question. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you love flowers? Do you love
Pause.
movies?
Yeah, pause throughout the day and do a self-check and ask yourself, how am I feeling right now? What would I love right now? Those are very powerful questions.
And it could be anything, and you don't judge yourself for the things you love. No, I love cars. Okay. I love luxury vehicles. Like, my next car is a Maserati. I want a Maserati SUV Levante. And that's what I love. That's what, she has great examples of things that she loves, like this beautiful, like Parisian designed skirt she wanted at some, boutique, all kinds of things. Don't be shy about what you love. There's no judgment for the things you love. We live in a material world, we're here because we're here to experience a material world, and you can love anything and everything. You can love flowers, you can love reading books, you can love pens. I know someone who loves salt and pepper shakers, and she has a collection of salt and pepper shakers. Like, honestly, everything is available for you to love.
Yep.
Love, you can love dogs. I love dogs. I have 3 French bulldogs. Anything. I love a lot of things. And this is a great exercise: gratitude, love. So if you can incorporate any of these things in your morning routine or even throughout your day, it will change things. I promise you, and I guarantee it, because I did it and it worked for me. We are living examples of what we're teaching. And I have to tell you, I can sit in front of you right now and look healthy and happy. This is not always this. I've been through many hard times in my life. And these are the things that brought me out. gratitude, living in a space of love. These are the things that healed so much in my life. So I hope that, we could have imparted some information to you guys today that can help you in some way so that you can live a more fulfilling, happy, and abundant life. Because being weighted down by past pains and traumas is exhausting and heavy, and really it keeps you from springing forward. So, every little bit that we can offer is a gift to us and makes us truly happy. So that's
So
what.
there's a question that was sent
Oh,
to me.
okay.
It was about, do you practice miracle morning, whatever time you wake up, even if it is a late wake up, right? And I think, I think that's something that I do for sure, right? Even like, so on the weekends, I may get up a little later, right? But I still make sure I do those 3 items. Okay. And I think Fondi, when you were talking about how you spread out the savers,
Yeah.
what's this?
LL Raj. Yeah. So the
Yeah,
savers, the
yeah.
6 things.
You spread it out throughout the day, right? Yeah,
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 so I call it now my miracle day.
yeah.
So I do practice the 6 elements in the savers routine.
Mhm.
Um, and you can do that too. I mean, because it's 6 things, and unless you want to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and dedicate 2 to 3 hours, because it's 6 items, and I started doing them, giving only 10 minutes each to each item, and it wasn't enough. 10 minutes of exercise is not enough. 10 minutes
And
of reading,
that's
not is enough,
and
actually.
that's what you have found with your experience, right? Whereas for me, even doing like 2 minutes on the trampoline is more than enough, because it just gets my body going, right? And this is the thing, we're all unique. And I know people who start with 25 jumping jacks, right? And they do that for like a month or two, and it just gets them going, right? And then as they as they get comfortable with that, then they add something else to it. So it's really about you and what works for you, right? But the key is to put some kind of a routine into your day so that you are benefiting. I hope that answers the
Intention.
question.
It's the intention of how you want to start your day. Just what came to me as you're talking. A lot of people just wake up, they put the alarm on, they get up, put the coffee or the tea or whatever, and they do their brush their teeth, and they just put their clothes on and where they go. But there's no actual intention for self-reflection. There's no intention to set a tone for the day. It's waking up with an intention, with a certain intention, and moving through these exercises with that intention. So when you do this miracle morning, if you're going to try Elrod's routine, I would do it with the intention. That's a very important point of it's setting the tone, right? It's not just getting through stuff. It's improving your state of mind, disciplining your mind, the meditation, and the exercise. The exercise is vital for a healthy mind. It literally helps you grow brain cells. Your muscles secrete a hormone that contributes to the feeling of well-being. So there's just so many things within that routine that's going to help you have a healthier overall mental and physical health, and not just that infiltrates your life. Really, when you're feeling good and you approach your day with a more resilient mind, when things come at you, you're more calm. You started the day with like a meditation, you're grounded. And when something hits you, like some news or whatever might be that normally might cause you to stress out, you're coming at it in a place that's where you're grounded. And so you might just take a moment and have a little more patience and a little more time to think about, what's been thrown at you, and deal with it from a place of calmness. And rather than react, you'll respond, right?
Fun. Yeah,
Reaction is
yeah.
like, you're just it's a knee-jerk reaction, but responding is actually taking whatever it is, evaluating, and thinking about, how you're going to deal with it. So having this morning routine is a stabilizer, and it's a mind discipliner, if that's the thing. Like it just helps you discipline your thinking, your mind, grounds you, puts you in a more positive state. And the exercise is so good. You get that high when you exercise. It's a thing, and it helps you stay healthy physically. Like you can stave off dementia or prevent it from coming on early from exercising. Exercising is an amazing thing. We actually don't get enough physical activity. I do encourage you all, if you have access to Netflix, to watch a documentary called Living to 100 Secrets from the Blue Zone. So the blue zones are areas where people are very healthy and they live to 100 or more, and they have very similar living habits, very similar lifestyle habits, I should say. So good social network, good diet, constant but low impact physical activity. It's amazing. I think everyone should watch it. It'll give you clues as to how you can not just fix your morning, but a general lifestyle, what we can do to help ourselves live more fulfilling, more peaceful, more happier, longer lives. So anyway, like the morning is just the beginning.
And that's why I like the trampoline, the rebounder a lot, because it's a great way to get your whole body going, and it's low impact, right? And it really it's a great way to strengthen your bones. It's good for lymphatics. It's 20 minutes 20 minutes on a trampoline is equivalent to a 1 hour run. Yeah, so yeah, it's a
And
very
anyone can
powerful.
do it. Anyone can do it. It's low impact. When I started, I was only able to do like a minute in the very, very beginning. But now I increased it. I do for 10 in the morning. So in the morning, when you do the bouncing, what happens is that your lymphatic system is a circulatory system, but different from your blood system. So your heart is your pump, and your heart moves your blood through your body by pumping, but your lymphatic system requires movement, so muscle contraction on all parts of your body. And they have valves inside your lymph vessels. So when you're jumping, that jumping pushes open those valves. Okay, so they're like this, and then when you jump, it opens, and then the lymph moves, and then it closes, and then you jump again, and then it's like you squeeze it up, then you squeeze it up, and you squeeze it up, and you just keep squeezing, and it keeps moving, and it keeps moving. And it's really important to move your lymph, because that system is where all the junk is.
Yeah, you want it to detoxify you. You want it to get out of your system.
It's where all the dead tissues are. It's where all the dead viruses are, and the bacteria. That's where it collects. So your blood system, your circulatory system that's pumping your heart, that's oxygen. Okay. And it does carry nutrients and all that, but your lymph is the place where the garbage is taken out, the dirty pipes. So doing this is really helpful. For women, I have to say, women that are thinking of breast health, getting the lymph to move is a great thing. This is one of the things for women who have breast cancer or trying to prevent breast cancer. Doing the rebounder and moving the lymph around your breasts is like, one of the best things you could do to prevent disease.
Yeah. You're basically putting your body at ease, right? Instead of dis-ease, right? You want to, really just get the body going. You want to get the mind going. You want to have the connection between the mind, body, and, as you start to study you and get to know you and, put some of these practices in place, you're going to start to feel the difference. You really will.
Yeah. So the visualization is, my last point. That gives you a goal. Okay. It gives you that space that you're moving towards. So it's really important to know where you're going. Yeah, it gives you the direction, but it gives you something to look forward to. And you don't have to be routine in your life, right? You don't have to, you can start something new, a side hustle, or, these are all like great topics that we're going to expand on in the future, but visualization is something a lot of people don't do. It is a form of dreaming, let's say, but it's not just a wish. It's literally something that you're working towards. So the visualization process, whether you do in the morning or even before bed, is a great way to set some kind of goal and direction for your life. Because if you go there's a lot of people who have, I guess, unhappiness because they're going through this routine in life and they just feel trapped in it. They feel like, this is same old, and they're bored, they're tired. But try visualization. What do you love? This is a good time to set up something new.
Yeah, and visualization is really, it's using one of your intellectual faculties of imagination, but using it to serve you, right? Because we're always imagining things. But when we're not aware, oftentimes we tend to use our imagination against us, right? We tend to visualize against us, but you want to start consciously using visualization. And as Fondi said, we're going to have a session on that so that you can learn how to use visualization to benefit you.
Mm-hmm. Are there any questions? I mean, you guys can write questions at any time, and we'd love to answer them.
No, it doesn't look like it.
Mm.
Okay, well, I think Fondi, we've gone 45 minutes, so why don't we wrap this up and
Okay.
give people back some time, and we'll be back again in 2 weeks, so we're hoping you'll be back to join us. Thank you for those who've come on Zoom with us and sent us some messages, and thank you to those watching on Facebook. Please, if you have questions, comment. We're going to be uploading this to our YouTube channels, and so if you have questions, comments, feel free to do so. Send us messages, ask us any other questions that when you're watching the replay, something may come up for you, and you want some help. We're here to help you. We're here to support you.
Yeah. So yeah, see you in 2 weeks, you guys. If you have something that you thought about during the session that you want us to talk about, put it in the comments or message us, directly by email or reach out to us somewhere. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. So we're reachable. So let us know if there are certain topics you want us to address, and we'd be happy to do so. So thank you so much for coming this morning. We love being here. We love sharing, and we'll be back here in 2 weeks. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.